Some employers assess your presentation skills. Typically, they might ask you to give a 5-minute talk after 10 minutes of preparation. At HSBC, they give you a week to prepare, but they expect a professional presentation with visual aids, as if you were the new chairperson presenting your vision to the board of directors.
Welcome. My name is Jonathan Lowery and I'm the chairperson of HSBC. Today, the financial sector is possibly facing its greatest challenge. There are strong feelings of uncertainty about what tomorrow will bring. I am here today to talk to you about the key factors and strategies that HSBC are considering.
Very, very confident. He did a PowerPoint presentation. It was good quality.
That good quality shows up in his well-researched content and clear PowerPoint slides.
To do this, I've considered the needs of the employees, the shareholders, the customers, and the HSBC brand as a whole.
You could tell he actually hadn't done much presentation skills work.
And that shows in the way he keeps looking away from his audience, at the laptop, the big screen, and down at his notes. You should aim to be relaxed, so if you need to refer to notes, why not write them on index cards?
So some of it is just a little bit stilted. He wasn't natural, and it's important to be natural.
And if we achieve these strategies, if we follow these strategies, then we will see sustainable, significant growth over the next 10 years. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks ever so much. Take a seat, relax. Let's do some questions.
Of course.
What research did you do behind your presentation?
What research did I do? I looked at HSBC's corporate webpage. I looked at the details. I looked at the numbers involved. I looked at the BBC website.
Expect to be asked questions about your presentation, such as what research did you do? What other options did you consider? And what are the likely consequences of your recommendations?
His content was very good. In fact, I asked him the question, which was really important, about where he'd done the research. And some of the points he came up with, such as the need for the bank to be joined together, was excellent. That you could have almost have heard the group CEO talking that particular point.
My second point is joining up the group. What I mean by this is cross-selling. It is our existing customers who we need to satisfy. As I've already mentioned, we have a loyal customer base of 125 million. These are people who are loyal to HSBC and share our principles. I think preparation is key for interviews, presentations, or case study interviews. Definitely, preparation is key.
At the end of the day, when you're doing one of these assessment centres, you turn around and you say, if there was a development need there, could that development actually be trained? And yes, it could. Would he have got through? Yes, he would have done.
We do bring in a lot of customers. I think it works out that we have 125 million worldwide. So we bring in a lot of them, but I think that the best way to utilise the customers that we have so that we can go back and then improve this positive cash flow that we've got is to increase the number of financial services that we entice our customers to have.
We're looking for two things basically. One is the actual content of a presentation, and the second is how confident the individual is in actually doing the presentation, because after all, when they're on the screen, they'll have to be able to handle presentations. Nowadays, we would expect a PowerPoint presentation. So although obviously we look at the whole content and what you talked about, first impressions, you would expect a PowerPoint presentation.
So, if you're asked to give a presentation, check what visual aids they expect.
In the short term, it might seem very cost effective to put our call centres beyond Western Europe, but then we have to look at what we're losing in terms of real costs, with customer satisfaction, with word of mouth, because at the end of the day, the best form of marketing and advertising is that by word of mouth.
If you look at how she delivered the presentation, she's very, very confident. So that's a good plus for us. She knows her stuff. She's done her research, which is also beneficial to us. That's great. Fine. Take a seat. Okay, that was a really nice, confident presentation.
Thank you very much.
What I want to do is now explore some of the themes that you were actually bringing out there. I just wondered if you could explain a little bit more about, the areas where we actually are present in the world.
Okay then, well, we're here in the UK, so we've got a presence within the UK, but HSBC started in Hong Kong, I think it was, so we've got...
The selector was impressed with Dee's confident manner, which is apparent from the way she makes frequent eye contact.
The standing of our clients to improve our client relations, but then also to improve the environment that we've found ourselves having to work in right now. That was my first time having to present on the topic at hand. So initially I think I might have spoken a bit too quickly because you just get a little nervous. So I think I might have spoken up a bit too quickly. And then also, although I had prepared it, and I think the presentation that I gave, all of the information covered in my presentation, I think that was adequate. I think I could have probably been a little bit more prepared for the question and answers that came after, just so that, because I feel that I didn't really give the most well-rounded of answers.
Today I'm going to talk about HSBC, where we are at the moment, and also what, as chairperson, what I think that we need to do going forward 10 years into the future. So what I'm going to do first of all is talk about HSBC's current standing, identify some key issues which are critical in the market at the moment, and then talk about where we need to develop those in order to take us forward into the future.
It's a good idea to signpost what you're going to talk about. Evian also has a neat visual to explain his idea for the company.
I've developed a framework, which I'm going to explain, called it the HSBC tree. So you've got the core values, which represent the trunk. They're what make the company grow strong, and they're what make the company last over the long term. Cost evaluation can be considered equivalent to pruning some of the branches. Sometimes the tree can grow too unwieldy, and it needs to be trimmed down. So it's always important to keep an eye on costs. Corporate social responsibility, the tree is green, as companies need to be.
His presentation is confident, but he crams too much in. He has to talk very fast, which makes it harder to follow. Presentations are often strictly timed, so it's a good idea to practice your talk beforehand so you know you can fit it all into the time allowed.
I wondered what part demographics have to play.
Well, I certainly think that demographics are a key factor, because different ages, different groups of people will have very different banking needs. I expected certainly that there would be questions, but I suppose I wasn't prepared for how specific they would be. And it wasn't just questions on separate issues. I found that they asked one question about one issue, and when I hadn't clarified exactly what they wanted to hear, they probed even further until they got the answer that they were looking for.
To summarise, if you're asked to give a presentation, preparation is crucial. You'll be assessed on the content as well as the way you present it. Be prepared for in-depth questioning afterwards. Structure your talk with an introduction that highlights the main topics, the talk itself, and a summary of your key points. The impression you make while you deliver your talk is as important as the content, so smile, show enthusiasm for what you're talking about, make eye contact, and speak clearly. If you're asked to provide visual aids, keep them clear and simple, and practice using them before you arrive. Check that everything works on their equipment before you start your talk. Bring along a backup of your presentation as a printout or on index cards in case the equipment doesn't work on the day. Practice your talk in front of friends or family. Ask them to let you know if you're too fast or too quiet. Get them to ask questions. Check that you can fit your talk into the time you're allowed. And get used to talking to the audience rather than to the screen or your notes.